I'm sorry you had to see that wreath, Nancy. It's disgusting.
This is one creepy kidnapper, that's for sure.
Let's hope the kidnapper just did this to scare you.
Like I'm not scared enough? Like I don't know time is running out?
The phone's been ringing off the hook all morning. I don't know how the press got a hold of this, but they're all over it like ants on a picnic.
Where did those missing posters come from?
I can't say for sure, but I can make an educated guess.
Are you thinking of a certain Hollywood agent we know?
Can you believe the way she diverted all of the attention away from Maya and used the poster to promote Brady as the big hero? This shouldn't be happening. It's all backwards.
So where will you go after the demolition? Are you planning to retire?
Greasewood, Arizona. My brother Jake is there. It's a tiny town with no movie theater, so we're going to put one on the map. I got some money saved.
Who is this J.J. Thompson character anyway?
Old J.J. Owner, visionary, wheeler dealer. J.J. loved a magic show. He had this place built with those kind of big spectacle shows in mind. J.J. also happened to love the sight of his own mug in the mirror. You can tell by the way he ornamented the auditorium with his own head.
The history of this theater is so rich. I'm surprised the city of St. Louis isn't more interested in preserving it.
Well, they are interested. The Historical Society's been working like the dickens to get this place declared a landmark. But someone downtown has been stalling. They're awfully close.
The police told me Nicholas Falcone is known for using extreme tactics to further his political causes. Why are you letting him use the lobby as his headquarters?
Nicholas has been hanging around this theater since he was a little boy. I know how torn up he is about the theater. This'll be over soon enough, and then he'll go home. I don't think he's dangerous, for gosh sakes.
Gotta go now.
Atta girl.
Records, Madeline speaking.
Hi, I'm looking for the blueprints for the Royal Palladium Theater. Do you have them on file?
Are you a county employee?
No, just a citizen on a mission.
Okay, well, we do keep blueprints on file. Let's see. The computer says there are 2 sets for the Palladium, 1923 and 1956. Do you have a preference?
1923, please. The originals.
Would you like to hold while I retrieve them?
Sure, thanks.
Ma'am?
Yes, I'm still here.
It's very strange, ma'am. They're gone.
Gone? You mean someone checked them out?
Oh, we don't allow people to check them out. You can bring the blueprints to our reading room and study them there, but they're not supposed to leave the building. I can't imagine where they could be. Hold on, let me see if Charles knows. Ma'am, this is so strange. Charles says some guy was just in here looking at them a few days ago.
What did he look like?
Hold on. Hello? Charles said the guy had a hat on. He never really got a look at the guy.
Was he young or old?
Hey, Charles? Young or old? Energetic is all Charles remembers.
Okay, well, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm working on some things over here at the Royal Palladium. Could you do a search for the blueprints?
Sure thing. I'll put in a find request. Call back in 5 to 7 business days.
Next week? Oh, I'm afraid I don't have that kind of time. Is there any way to expedite the search?
I'm afraid not. The guy who does our misplaced materials searches just returned from a month of paternity leave, and he's swamped.
I see.
This is urgent?
Yes, it's urgent, all right. But I'll figure something out. Thanks, Madeline.
Good luck.
Bye.
Hello?
Ned, it's me.
Nancy. Bess called and told me what happened with Maya. I've been worried sick.
Did she tell you what the police said?
About the 24-hour delay? Yeah, she told me. But I have faith in you, Nancy. You've solved plenty of cases before without help from the police. So let's get down to business. Who are your suspects?
It seems there were only 4 people in the building at the time of the kidnapping, besides Maya and myself. Brady Armstrong, Simone Mueller, his agent, Nicholas Falcone, a political activist, and the caretaker, Joseph Hughes.
Any hunches?
Not yet. I've got a lot of work to do.
Call me anytime. I'll try to stay close to the phone.
By the time I finally got to talk to Simone Mueller, she had heard all about the kidnapping and canceled the premiere of Vanishing Destiny.
Sounds like bad news travels fast around old theaters.
That's just the thing. Simone didn't seem to think Maya's kidnapping was bad news at all. She kept calling it a great opportunity. She kept saying what fabulous publicity it's going to be for Brady.
Sounds like she knows how to turn a profit in any situation.
The question is she just responding to the situation, or did she have a hand in creating it in the first place?
No flies on you, Nancy Drew. Sounds to me like your detective mind is in high gear.
I've got to think of a way to get this demolition stopped.
Well, the police aren't being much help. But couldn't you try contacting the owner of the building? I'm sure he or she would be willing to postpone for a couple of days. I mean, what's the rush?
According to Nicholas, his name is B. Thompson, and he won't talk to the press.
I wonder what he has to hide.
His building firm is called Wave of the Future.
Catchy. I wonder what he has against the present.
Ned, I just remembered something. Joseph used the phrase Wave of the Future when I first met him. He was talking about the remodel of the theater in 1956. Do you think it's a coincidence?
I don't know, Nance. If Joseph turns out to be the owner of the theater and the guy behind the demolition, I think it'll be fair to say you've seen everything.
Harry Houdini must have been quite a character.
What makes you say that?
Oh, it just sounds like he was so generous and passionate about his craft. Everyone loved him.
Any theories yet on what he did with his half of the theater?
No, but I highly doubt he was generous enough to give his half back to old J.J. Thompson.
That wouldn't have been an act of generosity anyway. It would have been a lapse in judgment.
Bye, Ned.
Call me soon.
Hello?
It's me again.
Hi, Nancy. I've got George here, too. Bess filled me in, Nancy. Any developments?
I'm just searching the theater, questioning suspects.
And?
I took Joseph's advice and called county administration to see about the blueprints for the theater.
He sounds like a big help.
Yes, but the woman on the phone said that the blueprints are missing.
Official records? Missing?
She said that a man was in last week looking at them, but they haven't been seen since.
The kidnapper? Or a certain smoldering sidekick?
Well, whoever it was, they must have taken the blueprints with them. How on earth am I going to find all the secret rooms and passages in this place now?
I'm not worried, Nancy. Me neither. You could probably find a secret passage in a paper bag. Are you kidding, George? Nancy could find a secret passage in a blueberry muffin.
When I spoke to the police about Maya's press pass, they said that Nicholas is known for using extreme tactics, and that he might even have been involved in a staged kidnapping last year in Nashville.
You don't think Maya could be mixed up with him somehow, do you? No way. Maya expresses her politics by writing about them. You know, the pen is mightier than the sword. She and Nicholas Falcone don't even speak the same language.
I think you're right, George. But Sergeant Ramsey said I wouldn't have any credit with the police if I joined forces with Nicholas.
Who said anything about joining forces? After all, he's still a prime suspect.
But that doesn't mean he's not a valuable source of information when it comes to the theater.
She's right, Nancy. As long as he continues to shoot off his mouth, you want to be around to take notes.
Brady said Simone wants him to appear wholesomely smoldering to his public. What in the world do you think that means?
Well, wholesome makes me think of apple pie.
And to smolder, according to my trusty dictionary, is to burn slowly from the inside, without flame.
So, he's a sweetie pie on the outside, but too hot to touch.
Oh, did you have to bring this up with Bess here, Nancy?
It seems like the two things don't go together. One is safe, the other is dangerous.
Interesting. Maybe that's Brady's whole dilemma. He doesn't know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy.
Which is exactly why he can't be trusted.
When I arrived at the theater this morning, someone had delivered a funeral wreath.
What?
Isn't that creepy?
You don't know who it was from?
It was from the kidnapper, I assume. The note said something like, "Wouldn't you rather stop the demolition than plan a funeral?"
Since when do kidnappers have the time to special order flower arrangements?
Apparently this kidnapper isn't afraid of the limelight.
Look at the bright side, Nancy. If you find out who sent that wreath, your case is as good as closed.
I met Nicholas Falcone, the leader of Hadit. His organization is camped out in front of the theater, demonstrating against the demolition.
What's the deal with Hadit?
Nicholas says he's sworn to slay the dragon of corporate generica.
All in favor of men who slay dragons, say aye.
Honestly, Bess, what are we going to do with you? Nancy, what in the world is generica?
I think it's a term for what this country would be like if suddenly it all looked the same.
Oh, you mean if it became generic, like a bar of soap that's just called soap.
Right. Hadit believes that protecting historical buildings is key to preserving our national character.
That sounds noble.
Yeah, except he practically jumped for joy when I told him the kidnapper's motive is to save the theater.
Uh-oh. Sounds like you better keep an eye on him, Nancy.
Nicholas told me that his grandmother did a lot of the artwork inside the theater, but that J.J. Thompson, the original owner, never paid her or even gave her credit for it.
That's terrible.
I can see why he's so dedicated to saving the theater then.
Yeah, I'd like to learn more about this J.J. Thompson.
Maybe you can help Nicholas get his grandmother the credit she deserved.
I told him I'd keep my eye out for anything that would prove her connection to this place.
I wonder if JJ left any of his personal effects behind.
If he did, I'm sure they're gone now. His kids must have cleared the place out when they remodeled in 1956, a few years after he died. That's when it became a movie theater.
You never know, Nancy. If there's one thing your detective work proves every time, it's that old buildings are the keepers of old secrets.
Let's just hope this building lives long enough to tell.
Okay, you two. I'll talk to you soon.
Good luck.
Be careful.
Nancy, what's the 411?
You didn't tell me kidnapping was part of Activism 101.
That's all hearsay, Nancy. They got no witnesses, no testimony, no nothing.
So you have or have not used kidnapping to further your causes in the past?
I am not an eco-terrorist, and I would never orchestrate the temporary disappearance of anyone who wasn't in on the plan and down with the cause.
There's nothing I hate more than a bold-faced liar, Nicholas. Remember that.
All right, Officer Nancy, chill out, will ya? I'm on your side.
Tell me about your relationship with the police.
All I know is they like to dig through my garbage and follow my van. Does this face say America's Most Wanted to you?
Joseph told me that the St. Louis Historical Society is in the process of trying to declare this building an historical landmark.
They've been in that process for years. It's all just a big wad of red tape, a bunch of bureaucratic hocus pocus. Hadit's about action, not paperwork.
Catch you later.
Fight the power.
Have you seen the posters? Aren't they fabulous?
That picture of Maya is the one from her press pass, isn't it?
Yes, thankfully she's photogenic.
What if she wasn't photogenic? Would you be less interested in helping her?
Not necessarily. I just have to be more creative about my publicity if I couldn't use photos. Brady's out plastering those posters all over St. Louis and every podunk town for 50 miles. He's due back at any time, though, for the press conference.
Press conference?
I've invited the press here today to report on Brady's commitment to solving this case. You know, a few questions, a few photo ops, no big deal. That funeral wreath was awful, wasn't it?
What do you know about that wreath?
I had it moved out front for the press conference. We want the press to know just how heartless this kidnapper is, don't we? Then it's all the more fabulous when Brady saves the day.
How long have you been Brady's agent?
I discovered him on an electric spring morning 6 years ago. He was working the original Coney Dog stand on Sunset Boulevard. It was pure luck I was craving an all-beef frank at 7 a.m. He's been the jewel in my crown ever since.
I think your phone's about to ring.
Ciao.
I got the number. I left it in the ticket booth. This woman isn't a Houdini herself. She's the widow of one of Houdini's cousins.
But it couldn't hurt to give her a call. I'll get right on that.
Yes, hello.
Hello, is this Eustacia Andropov?
Who else would it be? Everyone else is dead.
Oh, Mrs. Andropov, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm trying to find out some information about Harry Houdini. Is it true that you're his cousin?
Who wants to know?
Oh, I beg your pardon. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm a detective working on a case in St. Louis.
Harry was only my cousin by marriage, but my husband is dead, and so is Harry. So I guess that makes me nobody's cousin. Satisfied?
I'm researching Mr. Houdini's ownership of the Royal Palladium Theater. Would you know anything about this?
He owned it. Half of it anyway, for a few months. Then he died. Does that help?
Do you know what happened to his half? Did he sign it back over to J.J. Thompson?
Return it to James Jehoshaphat? Mr. Stupendous? Not on his life. Losing that man was Harry's greatest escape.
Did someone in Houdini's family inherit the theater?
Harry made a plan to give his half of the theater to someone he admired. A young magician, I assume. Perhaps a protege. I remember my husband telling me this.
Can you tell me anything more?
More? I'm 96 over here. I don't exactly have time to burn.
I know it was a long time ago, Mrs. Andropov, but this is terribly important. My friend is in danger, and finding out what happened to Houdini's half of the theater may be my only hope of saving her.
Call the Library of Congress. Ask about the Houdini collection. There must be something in all of those letters. You tell that Sherman Trout, Eustacia said. You're not dead yet, Shermy, so get up and make yourself useful.
The Library of Congress. You don't happen to have that number, do you?
Well, I should have this letter from Shermy around here somewhere. Cat food coupons. Vincent Jacozzi repair. dear Eustace. Here we go. Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. 202-555-5000.
Thanks, Mrs. Andropoff. You've been a great help.
Save it for my funeral.
Manuscripts.
I'm trying to reach Sherman Trout, please.
Speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, Mr. Trout. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm a detective working on a case that involves Harry Houdini and the Royal Palladium Theater in St. Louis. Eustacia Andropov recommended I call you.
Ah, yes. Eustacia was most helpful to us when we were assembling our Houdini collection. I presume you'd like to have a look at it?
Yes, please, Mr. Trout. I'm very interested.
Fine. Well, you'll just need to register with the library when you get here and fill out a request for the materials you wish to view. When your request has been processed, the materials will be delivered to one of our reading rooms where you can view them.
Mr. Trout, please let me explain. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to come to Washington, D.C. to do research. I'm hoping you could help me find a document.
Well, Miss Drew, I'm sorry if you have logistical constraints, but please understand my own limitations. The Library of Congress currently holds over 40 million items, contained in 10,000 separate collections. It's the largest and most comprehensive library in the world. I simply don't have time to run research errands for the individual citizens.
Mr. Trout, if I don't solve this case in a matter of hours, the building I'm standing in will be demolished and an innocent 19-year-old girl, a friend of mine, may lose her life. You may be my only hope.
Why is your friend in danger?
She was kidnapped by someone desperate to save this building from demolition.
And what can you possibly be hoping to find in the Houdini collection that would help matters?
Mr. Houdini was part owner of the theater, and I'm trying to find out who inherited his half or what became of it when he died. I'm hoping Houdini might have discussed it somewhere in his personal documents. If I can prove that the current owner is not legally the full owner, then maybe I can get the demolition stopped and save Maya.
I see. Well, this sounds urgent. I suppose I can take a look.
That would be such a help, Mr. Trout. If you find anything, could you overnight it to me at the Royal Palladium?
Well, I certainly can't send you the document itself. It's a historical artifact now. But I could send you a slide. What's the street address there, if I find anything?
It's 1330 Washington Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63101. Please send the package in care of Nicholas Falcone or myself, Nancy Drew. I can't tell you how grateful I am, Mr. Trout. You might just be a lifesaver.
Miss Drew, I assure you, Sherman Trout is a man of his word.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Did you call? What's the story?
Sure did.
Go on, spill it.
She didn't know much, but she gave me the number of this guy at the Library of Congress who has access to the archives of Houdini's letters.
And what did they say?
We're expecting a package. Cross your fingers it gets here in time.
Way to go, Nancy! You're on fire!
Can you believe Brady's agent has called this press conference to trump up his heroics? She can barely even remember Maya's name.
Don't worry, Nancy. This cowboy will be on the scene with a megaphone in each holster. I guarantee you the press will get more than they bargained for.
Catch you later.
Fight the power.
How are you holding up?
Thanks for finding Maya's press pass. Where was it?
I found it in the basement. I mean the balcony. It was the balcony.
Balcony, basement, whatever. It's just my friend's life that's in danger here.
Please, Nancy, it's not me.
I guess I should have my eyes checked. I could have sworn that poster was all about you.
It's Simone. She's relentless. I'm just a hostage on her runaway bus.
That's funny. I don't see any gun to your head, just a wad of money dangling in front of your nose.
It's more complicated than you think. Listen, I've got to get ready for this press conference. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, folks, we're about to get started here. Mrs. Mueller and Mr. Armstrong will do their best to answer all your questions in the time allotted. But let's proceed with good manners, shall we?
Thank you, all, for coming. I'm only sorry that the circumstances of our meeting are not more festive. Wouldn't it be nice if we were all gathered here today to revel in the blockbuster success of Brady Armstrong's new movie, Vanishing Destiny? Wouldn't we all prefer to turn our attention to record ticket sales and the squeals of delighted fans across the nation? But alas, we have come together today over tragedy, not triumph. I've called this conference specifically to let you know, and I trust you will take it upon yourselves to inform the world, that Brady Armstrong will not rest. The greatest performance of his career will not be unveiled until Maya Nguyen.
Hey, lady, you're breaking my heart. But isn't her name Maya Wynn?
Until Maya Wynn is returned to her friends and family.
It's locked.
Get smart, Nancy Drew. You're wasting precious time. Stop the demolition or you'll never see her again.
I'm sure this can be repaired.
You see, Brady Armstrong is a hero. And
Something's missing here.
Where did this funeral wreath come from?
Isn't it a little unusual for a movie?
Maya! These pieces won't budge.
Who's there?
It's Nancy.
Nancy? For goodness sakes. What are you doing down there? This chair seems to be stuck. Hold on, I'm greasing the wheels here.
I found a secret room under the stage. I've got to check it out.
The magician's room. I swear, Nancy, as long as I've worked here, I've never been able to find my way in there.
I found the door, but the pieces that open the door are stuck.
Here, try this. Hurry.
This should loosen things up. She was just here. Her shoe. Rubber is shockproof.
Oh, Nancy! Hey!
I think the kidnapper just moved Maya to a new hiding place. Have you seen anything suspicious around here?
Wow, are you sure? I didn't see anything.
I found evidence that will prove that Maya's being held in this building.
Wow! Evidence. Where?
I'll talk to you later. I've got to get a hold of Sergeant Ramsey.
St. Louis Police Department.
Missing Persons Unit, please.
Please hold. Missing persons, this is Ramsey.
Sergeant Ramsey, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Miss Drew.
I found Maya.
You found her? So the case is closed.
I found her, and then she disappeared again.
Good grief. This girl's a regular Houdini. All right. What have you got for me?
I found a secret room under the stage. I saw Maya through a peephole, but by the time I got into the room, she was gone. The kidnapper must have moved her.
A peephole, huh? Are you sure you saw her?
Sir, there's evidence. Pizza boxes and one of Maya's shoes. I left everything where it was so you could see for yourself.
So you think the kidnapper's been using this secret room as a base camp? Well, this is very interesting, Miss Drew. It sounds like you've been conducting quite a search.
Now will you please send someone over to investigate?
Yep. Just bear with me while I try to find an available car. Help is on the way, Miss Drew.
Great. Bye.
Hi, Nancy. What happened?
I found Maya.
You found her? Oh, that's great. Where is she now?
By the time I got through that door, the room was empty.
Are you sure you didn't just imagine you saw her?
I'm sure. She was there and now she's gone. Don't tell me you think I'm crazy too.
But what do you mean gone? She left?
Well, she didn't just get up and walk away. Her legs were tied.
The kidnapper must have moved her.
I found a couple of pizza boxes down there, so at least I know she's not starving.
Evidence. That should interest the police. Have you called them?
Yeah, they said they'll come check it out, but they may not be able to get here for a while.
I'll wait up for the police. You get some rest, Nancy. You're going to need it for tomorrow.
Thanks, Joseph. I am exhausted.